Okay. Do we live? Audio check. One, two, three, three, two, one. And boop, boop. We are live. Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my online lecture. I hope there is someone watching, or else this is be completely pointless in doing this live. Okay, so first thing to address during this lecture, my eye will be all over the place because I'm trying to monitor a lot of things. This is my first time doing live lecture, so I need to monitor the audio, the video, the slides, and everything. So just bear with it. And as you can see, I'm in the process of moving out right now, so please ignore the messy background. Another thing, if you have any question at any point in my lecture, just pause the video, write the question at the live chat over there, and then at the end of the lecture, I will try my best to address each question. Okay, so I think we are set to go. I think we can start. Okay, so today I will be talking about the law of diminishing return in exercise. So this concept is actually quite contradict to something that we always hear, which is no pain, no gain, which indicate that you need to push harder during exercise so that you get more. But it is there's such a thing as too much. Where is the cut-off point? As someone who directly related to exercise, I think a physiotherapist should understand this concept so that we can prescribe exercise that safe and the most productive. Okay, so before we start, let's jump to the basic. So what are the most fundamental variable of training program? There are three of them. First one, intensity. To up the intensity, you go heavier. That's the most common one. So as example, you are working out using a dumbbell. So to increase the intensity, you use a heavier dumbbell. This is very common. The second one is frequency. To up the frequency, you exercise more often. So let's say, for example, you exercise like 2 sessions per week. You can up it to session per week. And then lastly, the one that we will focus in this lecture is volume. So now this one doesn't get so much attention because partly because it's easy to misunderstood, and the other because it involves a little bit of mathematics. You know, not everyone is a fan of mathematics. Yet it's a huge factor when it comes to both building muscle and losing fat. So the research is clear. Every research indicates one thing: more volume means more muscle gain. So if you want to grow your muscle, get better composition, or boost your metabolism, adding more total volume per week will definitely do it. Okay, so what is actually a training volume? What does training volume even mean? Okay, so think of it like this. Training volume equal to set time reps time load. So volume is the total amount of work that you do. So if you do like 15 sets of 10 reps at 100 pounds, then your total training volume for that workout would be 15 times 10 times 100. So it is 15,000 pounds. So this means that the volume isn't just about adding another exercise to your workout or just another couple of sets. That's just one way to increase volume. Here's some other idea that you can use to increase your volume. You can increase the workout frequency, like increase the how often you train. You'll be more likely to increase your weekly training volume. However, this is completely pointless if you increase the frequency but the total set, you reduce the total set, the amount will be the same. Another way you can increase the intensity, you could potentially increase the volume by lifting more weight per session. But be careful here because if you lift very heavy for the whole workout, like 5 reps or less, you may actually decrease your weekly volume. This is especially true because If you working out at higher intensity, it will take longer for you to recover. So you will have less frequency per week. So by adding a set to each exercise weekly, you can progressively add volume. This is the most common choice that lifters of or bodybuilders make in their approach in training volume. Okay, so just remember all training variables such as rep, set, frequency, and intensity are interconnected. If one goes up, the chance our volume will also increase unless you are tearing yourself with excess volume. Means you increase the frequency but you reduce the reps. So it's actually very increased to increase your volume, and also it's very easy to mess up. Okay, so let's get into the point of diminishing return. Okay, so the simple rule for volume is you can use as much as you can while still being able to optimize the recovery and performance. Okay, it might harder than it sounds, and it probably involve a little trial and error. But when the easy way to do it is when you feel your recovery is a bit lagging, you take longer time to recover, just ease off the volume. Don't push yourself too hard. There's nothing to rush here. Okay, so this is the graph. Okay, this graph perfectly tell you about the diminishing return in exercise. Okay, so check this out. At first, an increase in total volume tends to equal greater adaptation in muscle. It is directly proportional. So you can see here, the line over here, at the first portion of the exercise. Okay, so this is given that you already pass your minimum threshold. So when you pass your minimum threshold, more you training, more muscle growth and performance will you get. So this is, but at some point, at the end of the graph here, you can see it become a bit plateau. So as the training volume increase, the muscle growth and performance will increase just a bit in the in the yellow zone, a plateau zone we call it. You'll need to use another advanced training, maybe just another exercise to stimulate a new growth. You can see that after a brief plateau in volume, overtraining can occur. So during overtraining, there is little or less improvement. Okay, so once you reach the threshold where the stimulus isn't sufficient to make adaptation, your progress actually may go down because you have reached the true definition of overtraining. This is because you will take longer to recover and even worse, might cause an injury. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, this is one sample of the study that I think that's quite give the definition what I'm trying to say. When looking at strength gain, a research split lifter or a person workout, for your information, this the sample are the expert in lifting, so there is no, so the skill is already out of question. So a research split lifter into three groups: a group lifting with moderate volume, the low volume, and another one lifting with high volume. So they found that the group that performing the moderate load, not the highest, not the lowest, was the group that made the most progress. So over the course of 10 weeks, a group of well-trained weightlifter performed a combination of back squat, snatch, and clean and jerk. The low group and the high group performed 1,923 total reps, and for the high group, 30,030 reps over the course of the study, while the moderate group, who made the most progress, did 2,481 reps. For the size gains, the sweet spot is also in the moderate range. In a review of study that looked at the dose relationship between volume and intensity and frequency in relation to changes in muscle size, researchers found that the fastest rate of muscle growth was seen in the group that did 42 to 66 reps for the biceps, 40 to 60 reps for the quads on per workout basis. So actually working out too much wouldn't wouldn't make you get better result. Okay, so just keep in mind that could be an average that should occur over time and not a hard and fast rule of reps to perform. So every little may need more. So just a beginners maybe need less. So total volume is certainly an important factor in muscle growth. But is doing more is always better? Like anything in this world, the answer is no. Okay, so how much is too much? There is no actual upper limit because it will depend on several factors. Your training experience, hormones, gender, and so much more. And your needs or ability will change over time. Of course, the next month you will be able to lift more than this month. You may be able to tolerate more volume later than you are able now, or vice versa. Or maybe if you are in the train in the red area that I showed just now, you might be already your strength become less than now. Okay, for a beginner, five total set for muscle group may be a perfect amount of volume to maximize growth without overworking the muscle. But for most experienced lifter, 5 sets would likely 5 to 10 sets fewer than their normal training. So there might be a decline in performance and growth. Okay, so take home message. Okay, so this is from this principle. This is for take home message that I can share with you. So first one, prescribe exercise based on patient ability, not what you think patient able to do. Because sometimes you get too excited to give patient exercise by giving too much to them. So this might cause patient to refuse to stick to the exercise to the program, maybe because of DOMs and everything. So they might think that instead of exercise, you torture him. Second one, exercise is not a magic that happen overnight. You have to put some time to it. As you can see, everyone have a different ability to adapt to exercise, like a beginner and expert. So everyone will have different progression. Third one, the trainer or the physiotherapist must find the sweet spot for the exercise while prescribing exercise to patient. The sweet spot will ensure patient to have most physiological changes based on their workout. This also will prevent patient to stuck in the plateau phase for too long, which will make it boring and again, just leave it. Don't want to exercise anymore. And the last one, more is not always better. As the principle of definition indicate, indicate working out too much might cause overtraining, which will lead to longer recovery time, or even worse, cause injury and lead to another problem to a patient. Okay, so that's it, my 4 point, and then I already explained to you the sweet spot about the. Oh, by the way, in this, okay, if you talk about sweet spot, as you can see, okay, in this graph, sweet spot is somewhere over here, just before you enter the yellow area. So here, when so you will get the most productive workout over here. So the trainer or physiotherapist must make sure the client or patient will fall into this area. Not here, not here, here. Okay, so okay, that's it. I will now address the question if there is any. So feel free to. Okay, so if maybe you watch this after the live session FN, you can always ask anything in the comment section. Or maybe you don't want to ask anything. Maybe you feel like I talk rubbish, or maybe I have mistakenly say something. So just feel free to say anything and see you in the next lecture, I guess. So now I will address the question. Test, 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 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's look into the live chat. So atas sekali, oh, Zaliliani, Hadijah, wave. Okay, hi, wave. So Zaliliani, Hadijah lagi. Gelap le. Memang a bit dark because I want to hide all this mess behind here because this is office, aka store. Sort of. No, normally loading je. Oh, loading je sebab memang dia stream ada sangkut awal-awal sikit tadi. Multicolor syndrome, I can see you. Oh, but I cannot see you. Nama dia tak nampak backdrop je. Oh, saya ada dekat bawah tu, belah kiri. Sebab memang dia jenis macam tu. Zal yang ni ada tu kecil je kan. Okay, thank you Kak Zal. Normaliza dengar suara je. Saya ada kat situ. Memang dia gelap sikit. Surah Syahid, clear from puncak alam. Multi kan clear here tu. Oh, since everyone, most of you cakap clear, maybe next time I can stream in full HD because right now I stream in 720p. Siti Hadijah, wave. Wave. Nani Nazneen, more sharing please. Yes, memang nak sharing more. Sebenarnya the plan nak buat side to side discussion dengan Bud, tapi due to some technical issue tak dapat nak buat, so just seorang je dulu. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. I need to introduce this more. Madam saya pun study ni like 1 week macam tu. Siti Khadijah, thank you sir. Thank you Siti Khadijah. Ada juga Umar Wais, thank you sir. Thank you Wais. Okay. So ada students. So kalau students when dekat rumah tu janganlah terlampau enjoy sangat ya. Lepas ni masuk balik semester baru. Okay, so that's it for today. This might be the first lecture, but this is not the last. There is so much more in the pipeline. So thank you for watching. See you in the next. Thank you, and I will put the slide dekat bawah, dekat in the description down below. Nanti Harun, hi, oh sorry for the delay. No, it's okay Kak Bani, you can just rewind, tengok balik pada awal. Volume tu ada contoh lagi-lagi. Oh, I don't get that. Okay, so that's all for today. See you on the next stream. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.